It's great to see that the ninth edition of ReelOzInd, a cooperative competitive program of short films between Australia and Indonesia, is happening on October 24th at ACMI, a free event. And it's my great pleasure, as always, to talk to the director of ReelOzInd, Jemma Purdey. Jemma, welcome again to Movie Metropolis.
Hi, Peter. Thank you so much for having me back.
Always a pleasure. Now, let's talk first of all, as there might be some people watching and listening who don't know what Real Oz Ind is all about.
Yeah, well, we are the Australia Indonesia Short Film Festival, and we're a competition, an open competition for filmmakers who are based in Australia and Indonesia. So it's a really unique, what we call binational film festival, bilingual and open to, yeah, storytellers from both those countries. The festival is an initiative of an organization called the Australia Indonesia Centre, which is based at Monash University, but has a far wider network. But we wanted to find ways for Indonesians and Australians to share each other's stories. And there's not many fora for that, actually. We found that, literature is there. There are translations of Indonesian literature and some Australian writers into Indonesian. But on our screens, it's very limited. And sometimes we might encounter an Indonesian film at an international film festival here in Melbourne, perhaps. But it's really rare to see Indonesian content. And the same goes for Australian stuff on Indonesian screens. We have Netflix and all these wonderful streaming platforms now, which are opening things up, YouTube as well. We know that in Indonesia, they've got this amazing vibrant and dynamic film community that comes from the grassroots, really. Like it's people who are making their own short films, like really guerrilla filmmaking, but doing it in a community and sharing it, screening it together. So there's a real culture there. We also knew that in Australia, we have a similar kind of culture with our love for film and short films over the years. And so, yeah, it's coming up to 10 years ago. We wanted to think of a way that we could kind of bring something new to this whole Australia-Indonesia exchange. And this is where we came up with ReelOzInd. So as you say, we're having our ninth festival this year. It's again a pretty unique model. So we have our premieres simultaneously happening on the 24th of October here in Melbourne. But also this year, our Indonesian premiere is in Samarinda, which is in East Kalimantan, which sounds very exotic and far-flung, and actually it is. It's the first time that we've been there, so we're really excited. But actually, Indonesia's center of power is moving really close to that location. So people may have heard that Indonesia is building a new capital city, and it is in this province of East Kalimantan. So we're kind of getting where the action is in Samarinda. And yeah, we're just excited to then premiere this festival and follow it with this unique pop-up model that we use, whereby our partners, our festival partners, just go off, create their own events. They might be at a university, they might be in some kind of film community or a school or any setting at all, and they kind of make the event what they want using ReelOzInd as the kind of core of that. So we're always excited to see what happens. That happens here in Australia and also in Indonesia. You'll see these little events pop up, and we run that through till almost Christmas.
Ah, okay, excellent. And what's the theme this year? And did you receive many entries? Because it's always difficult to decide the winners.
Oh, so difficult. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And you're always so pleased to see a lot of entries, but there's that daunting task that, faces the selection committee and the judges. And yeah, so we did. We had a great year of over 200 entries, which is just kind of building on what was a record year last year as well. The festival's open to all genres of film. So, we see, a power of films come through for animation, fiction, documentary, and our young filmmakers. This year, our theme was really interesting, Peter, because the theme that we chose this year was diversity, which for an Australian might kind of seem a bit obvious and not very edgy. But we wanted people to think of it a little bit more, um, yeah, creatively. In Indonesian, the term we used is keberagaman. Now, there's two terms that we could have used in Indonesian language. One is a very common one called, which is kebinekaan, which is used in the Indonesian national motto that some people might know, which is unity in diversity. And but we didn't go with that word because we thought that, that was a little bit of a trope that people might, kind of just think they know the meaning of. So we went with this other term. And the results have been so exciting because, particularly, I'm really excited about the Australian entrance this year. So, over the years, I've been waiting and waiting, I guess, for a little bit more First Nations content to come to us, right? So, um, diversity, something struck a nerve this year with that topic. Maybe also in a year where we've had, the disappointments of last year's yes vote. I don't know what happened, but we have got some fantastic films from Australians on First Nations themes this year. So I'm excited to share that with Aussie audiences, but especially Indonesian ones.
Excellent stuff. And uh, as you say, it's quite a diverse range of themes and topics and so on. So which is great to see. And the free screening will be at ACMI on October 24th. How will that occur? And anyone can go and just book a ticket.
Yes, please. Anyone. It's 6:30 p.m. start at ACMI. You can jump on the ACMI website and just book your tickets. There's all set up for that. The more the merrier. So please come. You don't need to be speaking one or, Indonesian. It's all bilingual, obviously. And I think that, our Melbourne audiences, our Australian audiences are really always so um, yeah, surprised and, really thrilled by what they see. Not just, well, but for both the Australians and Indonesian filmmakers that we present in the festival. This year there'll be 9 short films screened. That includes the films judged to be the best in their categories by our jury, and some films that are special mentions. So there's something for everyone. When you have this smorgasbord of documentary and animation and, young filmmakers, every year they just blow me away because they're so incredibly accomplished for such young people. And we have some excellent talent on display again this year in that category. So yes, everyone is welcome. Tickets are available at ACMI. If it says sold out on the website, don't worry. Please just come anyway, because sometimes, with these free events, there can be, no shows. So that's one thing that we like to tell everyone. But yeah, very welcome Thursday night. Yeah, and Peter, you will be there. So we're thrilled about that.
Yes, because one of the films will have guests.
That's right. Every year, we're never quite sure, given that it's an Indonesian and Australia-wide competition, who we can have on the night to attend our premiere in Melbourne. But we're very lucky that this year one of the films was made here in Melbourne, a VCA film actually. So that's always exciting because you can see this new talent coming through. And what I'm really excited about is that it's an Australia-Indonesia collaboration, which over the years, we've seen really awesome stuff in our festival that's come from, collaboration between Indonesians and Australians. And we always kind of hope for more of that. So it would be great to hear from the filmmakers about that, and how they came to work together. Mm.
Uh-huh. That yes, looking forward to that, and yes, always interesting to chat to filmmakers and so on about their process and so on. So excellent. All right, that's great, Gemma. That how tenacious you are. You've been doing this now for quite well, almost 10 years, as you said, and
I know. Yeah, I mean the
yeah.
ideas were, but yeah, it's over a decade, and it comes down to Peter with something like this festival, which is very much a very small team effort, but its aim is to spread as widely as possible. So as well as having our live screenings, we screen our festival on YouTube. We also provide all of our shortlisted filmmakers an opportunity to have their films screened widely through our website and YouTube. So that's 24 films, not just the 9 that we will show at ACMI, but 24 films. And they're available for people to watch. And we also have like a viewer votes, like a popular kind of award that we give out at the end of that. So yeah, I would encourage people to also after the 24th of October, jump on our website and you'll be able to see some really amazing things. As you say, so hard to choose from a wide range of, amazing films. So yeah, I'm very happy for people to disagree with the jury and to think that the films, the one of the other 24 is far better. That's absolutely fine. Maybe I would secretly agree, but yeah, very hard to decide and choose in these things. But we hope that, yeah, people will enjoy the films that we are screening. And, we're just excited to see that, for 10 years, we have created this lovely community of people and institutions that support us year after year, like ACMI, but also around Indonesia. We have some of our pop-up screenings. They've happened every year of the festival. And, the enthusiasm is fantastic for this kind of thing where we can have Australians and Indonesians sharing, yeah, their films together. It's, like I say, it's pretty unique, but we think it's a winner.
Look, I agree, and I'm sure it will continue to expand. The cooperation between Australia and Indonesia is so important, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Who was on your jury?
Right. Our jury this year, it was great. I got a really nice kind of mix of people who've come back for a second time or new people. So an Australian producer called Martin Wilson's on the jury this year. Martin, he works out of Perth, and he came to my attention because he's recently has or is collaborating with an Indonesian film production company. So he's got works in the pipeline. So that kind of struck my interest. He's made films, he's made television, commercials, all sorts of things, but he's got this real eye on what's happening in Indonesia. So it was great to have Martin. Um, in Indonesia, the actress Asmara Abigail, she was back again. She's previously been on our jury. She's won awards and been part of some really exciting films and television projects over in Indonesia, which is really booming, Netflix stuff, as well as cinema. So Asmara is there again. In Australia, the dancer and now film actress Juliet Burnett. It's very exciting. Juliet was on our jury a few years ago. She's a ballet dancer. She danced with the Australian Ballet. Her mum's Indonesian, so she's also trained in traditional dance, and she has kind of moved that way to kind of embracing more traditional styles of Indonesian dance into her practice. And just this year, she has starred in a film that hopefully we get to see, Peter, by the acclaimed, renowned Indonesian filmmaker Garin Nugroho. It's similar to films that he's made in the past with dance, a dance film, and Juliet is the lead in that. So hopefully someone like Miff or even Asia Topa or something grabs a hold of that one and we get to see it. So yeah, that's just a few of them. We have one of our juries actually an old winner from our festival. We've had this before where it's been wonderful that we've been able to bring those people in. His name's Derry Prananda. So yeah, some great, insight that everyone brings, really diverse insights to our jury, which is what we need because it's
It,
a tough job.
it's of course excellent stuff. What's the website so people can visit that and get ready and all that sort of thing?
Yeah, so it's real, so REEL, OZIND .com. Hang on. Now you've got me. We're a com. We're a .com for sure. ReelOzInd.com. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can also click on a link there to book your tickets at ACMI or just Google ACMI and Reel Oz Ind.
Okay. And Gemma, just to conclude, in terms of feature films, have you seen an Indonesian feature film of late, or any other film that
Oh,
has
okay.
impressed you?
Yeah. Oh, good question. Well, a couple of things. The most recent film I saw in the cinema was an Australian film, a children's film. You might have heard of it. It's called Runt.
Ah, yes.
Um, Gorgeous film that's was a book, very popular kids book. I took my kids in the holidays, and my children are not little, like they're quite grown, but we all enjoyed it. We loved it. It's kind of a classic Australian tale, but the way that it's told as well. It's got some really, crazy characters. Matt Day playing, a villain that I just loved because he's always the nice guy. So yeah, that was really great. I recommend it. And then of course on Netflix, people may have seen this is a little bit a while ago, but the series Cigarette Girl or Gadis Kretek, people may have heard. It's by the duo, a married couple, Camila Andini, there's the daughter of Garo Nugroho and her husband, Ifa, produced this film, directed, it's a series on Netflix, Gadis Kretek or Cigarette Girl. So I recommend that. It's an historical drama, again, based on a novel about a woman in Indonesia in I think it's kind of the 50s and 60s. But we flash forward to the 1990s to see the next generation of these families. So it's a love story. It's set within this world of tobacco growing and cigarette making, which is very interesting and has, raised a bit of controversy about how the film, which is beautifully made, like it's a little bit I can't think of the exact, but it's very evocative and nostalgic, and the cinematography is gorgeous, the costumes are gorgeous, and you're like, oh, are we romanticizing smoking? So there's been a debate on the side, but that's a good debate actually. And the film does reference those things in its flash forwards to the 19 kind of 90s. But of course, some people would prefer to go further. But as a romantic drama, historical drama, it's well worth looking at. So recommend that one on Netflix.
Okay, there's some good recommendations there, and certainly we recommend Real Oz Ind, Thursday, October 24th at ACMI at 6:30, a celebration of short films from Australia and Indonesia. And it's my great pleasure to have been speaking to Jemma Purdey, who's the director of Real Oz Ind. Jemma, thanks so much, as always, for talking with me.
Thank you, Peter. See you next week.
Absolutely. See you there. Bye-bye.